Okay, I'm trying to do a simple demo how to use spreadsheet to use the demographics data and calculate POP 18 up, which is the voting population for every uh, census block group, right? The data, after we unzip it, we have this set of data files, and the data is in the CSV file, right? Which you can open up. We can open up to see it in spreadsheet. I'll open it later because there are different columns. They have coded column names. The explanation is in the metadata spreadsheet. So let me first open up the metadata spreadsheet. Okay, so here these are the column names, and this explains what it is. The GeoID2 is the ID for the census block group, and then these other columns are total population, male population, total, and then male under 5 years old, male 5 to 9, and so on, right? You can see all these columns. To get the population for voting, we need to remove the from under 5 up to the 17, and then from here on we can add these up all the way. These are all the male, and then female, we also remove that, and also remove these columns up to 17, which is D030. And then once we remove those, we can sum it across all the way. That will be our voting population. So let me first, do not close this yet, put this aside so that I can look at it again. But now I open up the data sheet, the CSV spreadsheet. I double click on it. Let me bring it into view. It looks like that, right? There are many rows. Each row is one census block group. So these are the IDs there, right? So this block group and the column names are coded. If we go to the top, right, D001, D002, 03, and so on, right? The explanation would be in here, right? So the first thing I would like to do is remove those columns that I don't need so that it becomes easier to handle. GeoID is too long. GeoID2 is what we like to use. This is GeoID2. Right? And it is a long integer. That's why it looks like that. And each row should have a different number here so that it identifies, and that matches what we have in our map. The map will be identified by this code, which is the GeoID. So we do not need column A. So I can delete this. These other columns, this other column, I also do not need. This is just more explanation of the same ID. So I remove this column. And now I have to be careful. D001 is the total, but it's the total population, including those who are not voting. So we don't need male population. I also don't need. Under 5-year-old, I don't need. 5 to 9, 15 to 11, all these I don't need. So from D001 to D006, I don't need. I should start including here. So D001 up to D006. So these columns I don't need. So I delete them. Right. And then if I look into here, all these I need, but then these are male. Then we go on to female. This is the total female, D026. And then D027 is male, female under 5. So from D026 up to D030, I don't need. So I should remove these columns in this data. So that's 26 to 30. So let me scroll across. What is it again? The 026 to 30. 26. is this column, 230. So I can delete these columns. Now all the rest, I need to sum across for each row, right? So how do I do it? Standard spreadsheet operation. I open up a new column. You can call it anything. Let's say, let's just do sum. This is just a name. I can call it anything, right? The way to sum it is to spread it across. So make sure you have it right. So that's where a large spreadsheet we have to be careful. And then do not add the GeoID to, so that would be the whole column, the whole row is selected accordingly. And this is a new row. To do it, we click on the sum, right? So this is the total of that. And if you click into this, you'll see that's the formula, equal to sum of those columns, right? And if I copy this and paste the formula here, then it would be using the same formula, but for different rows. This is the third row, second row, and so on. So what I need to do is to copy this and then paste it across all the way down. It's a very large spreadsheet, so $1,900. How many do I need? Some of you may have better skills than I have and have some other easier ways, but this is what I know, so I'm doing this now. We went through the back. It's 2,000 something. Yep, right here, up to 2,506. So let me scroll it back all the way. You can see that I'm copying that and then I'm pasting on it, but I paste the formula. Make sure I paste the formula, right? So that now each row uses the same formula to sum up the rest, but each calculates. So this is the number for the POP 18 up. This is the voting population. So once I have this number, I do not need those other columns. Now this is where we have to be careful, because this is actually a formula. If you delete those, you will lose a number. So what I need to do is now I actually do a POP 18 up column. And now I want to copy this whole row, whole column rather, to 2,000 something, 2,500. And 6, right? So now I copy this and then I paste it up here. But now this time I don't paste the formula, I paste the value. Then I would have the value here. Okay. Okay, up to here, right? So I have the whole table, and now I make sure that I paste the value. I paste the, where is that? I paste the value, the 1, 2, 3s. Yes, the values, right? It's the same value, but this is the formula. You can see it here. This is the actual data value. So now I can delete all these other columns and this value will be there, right? So just to show you what happens if I delete some of these columns, for example, if I delete this column, you can see this number becomes smaller. Like this number remains the same. So this is the numbers that I want. So now I move across to delete all these columns that I don't need. Now I have a table with the block group ID and the pop 18 up. Now I can save this, right? In order not to mess up the one that I have, I now would save it as something else. So go to here, and then I can call it pop 18 up, and make sure I use XLSX, right? So I already have that file, but well, let me call it version 2 here. So I save it. Now I have a spreadsheet file with only these 2 columns, and now I can import it as a table and then use this to match in a table join. Then this number will go into my data attribute table for use. So these numbers are all different, one for each row, for each block group, right? So now I can close this, save it. This I haven't changed, I just look at it, so it won't ask me to save, it goes away. So I have pop, this is what I had originally I calculated, but this is the one that I can use. Okay, so open it again, you'll see that's the table with the block group ID and the voting population within that block group. Okay, that's the simple demo. Alright, I hope it helps. That's all.